Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here tonight as we're getting ready for UFC 196 coming up tomorrow. Conor McGregor going up against Nate Diaz. Of course, this fight was originally planned as Conor McGregor against Rafael Dos Anjos for the championship, but due to Dos Anjos breaking his foot, he was replaced in order to save Conor McGregor on UFC 196 and basically save the 196 pay-per-view as a whole, even though it did have Holly Holm versus Miesha Tate on there. Nate Diaz comes in, basically says he's not going to be able to drop enough weight, so they end up having this fight, I believe, at heavyweight. Conor McGregor moving up 2 weight classes could be a little bit of trouble, but um, I don't know. To me, honestly, I don't really believe in Nate Diaz. I don't believe in the Diaz brothers. I think the Diaz brothers, they at times, they were really good fighters, but I think that time has really passed them by. The trouble that the Diaz brothers have gotten into with the UFC is just beyond ridiculous. The one reason why Nate Diaz wasn't booked for a fight and was able to fill in for this fight was that I don't even think UFC really wants to bother with the Diaz brothers anymore. But the Diaz brothers keep getting plugged into fights due to injuries or due to suspensions and things like that. And it's just like they're the ultimate backup for UFC. It's like they don't want to be booked into a big fight, but you got to give it to Nate, and you also got to give it to Conor for a fight that is filling in for a championship fight that people really wanted to see between Dos Anjos and Conor McGregor. Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor have knocked it out of the park. These are two guys that understand how to sell a fight. I don't think that their hatred for each other is real. I think that both guys want to win this fight. Definitely Nate Diaz wants to be the first guy to be able to beat Conor McGregor inside of the octagon. I just honestly don't think it's going to happen. I believe when Nate Diaz took this fight, it was only 10 days before it was going to be there, and it's not like I think this guy is getting fat, sitting around smoking weed and eating Cheetos. I just don't believe that he was 100% ready to get into the fight and be able to get this down. I think that Conor was more trained and more ready to be able to get into a fight. I think he was more into his fighting shape, really prepping up for a fight against Dos Anjos. And I think that's what's going to put him over the top in order to get the win here. UFC 196 with the Holly Holm as well as Miesha Tate fight is going to be a really good show. I'm really looking forward to it. Tom Lawler really stole the weigh-ins tonight, going in there dressed up and pretty much all tattooed up as well. Like he's going trick or treating as Conor McGregor, and I think it was one of the fun things of the UFC weekend. I've never been to one of these, but they always look like they'd be a blast to go to. But I don't know what happens to Conor McGregor when he wins this fight. Um, I know that people think that he's going to have a rematch sooner than later. I don't really see him dropping back down the weight classes again. I know that he does have a feud with Aldo, and I think it would sell to have a rematch. But with the new rules and everything in UFC, I don't really think that he's going to be able to drop the weight and be able to get back into that weight class. I think that if he would have beat Dos Anjos for this belt, I think that he would have been able to, basically let the other belt go and feel more comfortable fighting in this weight class. But we'll see what happens when he goes up against a guy like Nate Diaz. I think this is going to be a really good fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Conor ends it early. And, it's one of those nights again where just basically Conor knocks somebody out and it's on to the next guy and seeing who the next challengers are going to be.